1967 GT500. I mean, what else do you need to know about it? It's an older vehicle, so you want to be very careful because you don't want to pull any paint on this car. It's a one of one. Getting it repainted and matching that paint exactly is just almost nearly impossible. So we want this car to look perfect.
The Revology GT500, car number 163 from the company. Original place I went to was up in Glenview. They did a fantastic job on another early 60s car. I had a 67 Corvette that they did a fabulous job. And now this is my fourth car that they've totally wrapped in PPF.
How long is this gonna take you?
It's gonna take me 85 hours.
85 hours?
Probably.
You think 85 hours?
Maybe 55.
How do you wrap this up into here? Is that one piece? Is it relief cuts? Is there multiple pieces? These stripes aren't bad because they're painted on. So if they're vinyl stripes, you can't put PPF over them because you'll see that air bubble. So that's nice.
Yeah,
but like stuff like inside this light here, this is a high impact area. So
oh yeah, we gotta cover everything, and that's gonna be a pain. That's gonna be so hard. What looks harder, the GR Corolla or the?
This looks way harder.
Using Optical Defense is probably the best decision that we could have made for that vehicle. The amazing adhesive that's on the film itself, it is actually a low tack film, but as soon as it's dry, it grabs like a motherfucker. The clarity in the film also is another big reason why we decided to go with this film, because we don't want to add any other texture to the vehicle, so that's why we went with our film as well. Has nearly no texture whatsoever. The detailers finally got finished prepping the paint. They did a beautiful job. They got a perfect correction. Me, Albie, and Andrew are gonna start taking this thing apart because there's a lot of cool little chrome pieces that we want to take off so we can try to make a perfect seamless install. Oh yeah, this thing is clean already. Just a little dusty. All right, hood is prepped. Wipe down all the edges, panel wipe. This guy's annoying. Who invited this guy? Oh my God. We're recording here. Luckily, I didn't have to do the doors. What was nice about the doors, we were able to take off the mirrors, but we weren't able to take off the handles because we called the manufacturer. They suggested we don't do it because there's no way we're gonna be able to put it back on. So we didn't do that. We placed a strategic seam where you're not gonna be able to see it, and I think it turned out amazing. I can take this one off, but trying to get it back in is gonna be a pain in the ass. Why? Take a look at this. This right here,
it goes inside. Okay.
it does this and it controls the mirror.
Oh, it's a mechanical.
Yeah. I can take it off. Getting it back in is gonna be a challenge and we'll have to figure it out.
But wait, can I put the fishing line there? When I take the mirror off, I can take the fishing line and the fishing line will be here.
Here, so we can pull it back? So here's what we're gonna do. The problem with taking this mirror off is that this whole card can't come off, right? Because the way they built it to not come off. They're like, good luck. There's a wire that controls the mirror and that runs this way. I can undo this piece, take the mirror out. Trying to get that mirror back in here is gonna be a pain because there's no way to access inside of it. So Albie said, let's put some fishing line and we'll run fishing line from here to the outside. So then when we're done, we can tie the fishing line to the end of this mirror and we could just pull it back into place, which in theory should work.
Here, I'll help you out. Like if we do this. All right.
That's it?
Yeah.
Just 2 knots?
Yeah.
Are you nuts? Analyzing the hood and figuring out how we're gonna lay this film the simplest, the easiest, and the cleanest way possible is probably the hardest thing. Me and Albie went into it just a little bit. We went back and forth. We figured out a game plan. Okay, we said, let's just send it. Let's figure it out along the way. But getting that piece on and getting it on clean is super hard. The most challenging part on that hood is actually the 2 front vents that are there. Cutting out the film perfectly for it to lay down in there and making it look beautiful and just making it look clean is probably the hardest part. Okay, so the plan There is no plan. For one, we've never done this, right? So I don't have any guidance on how to do it. I'm just gonna figure it out as I'm installing. But I've worked with stuff like this before on other challenging cars, and I have an idea of what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a one-piece hood with some small relief cuts along these edges. And I'm gonna try to do it as discreetly and as beautifully as possible to make it look wonderful. We wiped it off just to make sure that there's no like dust particles that have landed on it. We're wiping all that off. Any little lint or fuzz that was on it, spray it, wipe it off, and it should get everything off. We'll do a 4-corner tack. Tack here, tack there, tack front, tack other front, 4 corners. You put some tension across the back, right?
Yes.
Cool. Oh yeah. I'm gonna bring some of this film right here into this channel. I'm gonna borrow some of this. I wanna make sure everything's floating. Sticking?
Yeah, that thing. Because of the fall.
Check this out. Bam! The only reason that is possible is because we have the perfect amount of stretch vertically and horizontally. It allows the film to naturally fall into this valley, and the adhesive and the film do all the work for me. And all I have to do is just get the water out. To get this valley to stay, I could do this over and over. Nothing's gonna happen, right? Until I get some solution under there. And I use my hands to allow the film to hold, and I block where the air is coming in from. The film's working for me. As soon as I let this go, pops back open. Now I'm gonna struggle, but as long as I can get it to do this, and then I squeegee, this becomes no issue. That part's easy. That was probably the easiest part. This, the hardest part. I don't even know how we're gonna do this part. This is very tricky because your cuts have to be precise. Because if they're off by like just even an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch, one way or the other way, your cuts aren't gonna look consistent, so it'll look off, right? So I gotta make sure both my cuts are the same cuts. And I wanna make sure I get enough coverage to wrap around. You just gotta, it's tough. I'm gonna cut underneath here about an 1/8, so that when I cut this, it naturally wraps underneath a little bit. And I want to try to follow that all the way through here. Make a small relief to about here maybe. See if I can get this to fall down so it naturally wants to stay there with no tension whatsoever. And hopefully both cuts are money and they look the same. It'll look like a robot did it, but it was me. I'm gonna go here. I'm nervous.
The thing is like
So
less
here.
than a quarter coverage on the top.
So 1/4 inch, like
Yeah.
I'm here. Got
Just
it.
continue with the same coverage.
Oh, well, I cut it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
As soon as I cut it, the tension released and the film shifted down a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna stop there because I want to tack this down before I make that cut. Cut that to right there. Okay, cool.
you want to cover the top, then you have to be short on the bottom. If you want to cover the bottom, you have to be short on the top. So the only way to do it is just to find the middle point.
That's tough. I'm cutting in the air. All right, that's good. Putting the film on is easy. It's doing these style of relief cuts and trying to make them look perfect and seamless and like they're supposed to be there is the hardest part. I cut this one out already, so now we're trying to figure out if we can push the film back a little bit to get maximum coverage around the two vents, or do we just leave it how it is and that's what it is. I think the best move is to leave it exactly how it is. So in this area, on the stripes in the white, it's dry and it's getting stuck to it right now. We're trying to lift up the film to this body line right here so we can disguise where we picked it up and pushed it back down. That way we don't get a distortion line in the middle of nowhere. We get it on this line and your eye will visually lose it in that area. Oh yeah, that should look good. All right, while he does that, let's cut out the film. That was a hard ass hood, but not hard enough, buddy. Okay, so let's talk about the fenders. Fenders are a giant piece of film. I was thinking that we could do it in just a 36-inch film. Unfortunately, we couldn't, so we ended up using a 60 by 60 inch piece because the fender long ways was almost 55 inches, I think, and then vertically it was like roughly 40, 42, so we had to use the bigger piece of film. And it requires a lot of stretch because there's some hard body lines in the actual fender. To get around those obstacles, it was very challenging because if you pull in a certain direction, it creates so much tension somewhere else. So manipulating the film in many ways is the big challenge when doing a fender that size.
All right, I took the bar off, so it's easier now.
I saw that. This man's a magician.
Come on, EMan, he just fucking screws. Don't make a big deal. Oh, this
He's
guy.
humble. This guy's humble.
Oh, get back to work.
Nice, easy. This one looks easy as hell. This hump right here is a little confusing. It just requires multiple stretches at once. So here's what I'm gonna do. Get that to hold, more stretch to the front. It needs to be like this much. This lays down. Big stretch there, big stretch here. This starts to lay. This, I stretch down. Oh yeah. All right, now we're cruising. Tag that down there. This starts to lay itself down. This lays down. Get it nice and loose. Send that through. That holds. Oh yeah, that's it right there.
The adhesive is good, I like it.
Yeah, right? It's weird. It's like not there, and then it's there. Lift, lift, lift. Pull the tension back out. Done. Beautiful. Always helping me do this fender, so we split the fender in half. I get to work my section now. He gets to work his section, and I'm not in his way. Makes things way easier. I got this big ass finger right here. But if I can get it to lay down on its own, That's the move. Got a lot of tension here. This tension requires me to pull down. I pull down a little bit, now half of it's gone. Get that to tack, temporary tack right there. This, I could pull down on it a little bit too, to try to get this to flow down with it. I'm trying to follow this body line. Pull down a little bit, push the air out, and this wants to stay on its own. And all I'm doing is helping guide it down a little bit, like that. So let's get into the roof. The roof is part of the quarters. We have to really think about like, where can we seam this? Because it's impossible to do it all in one piece. You can't do the roof plus 2 quarters because you don't have a film big enough. You need like a 20 by 20 foot piece of film, and no manufacturer has that because it's just not possible. Not right now. Okay, so our original plan was, let's cut a small hole and let's berth it. It's when you take a small hole and you try to squeeze it around this area. And usually that works pretty well, but I think with this one we're gonna get too much distortion all the way around this inlet. So I don't think that's gonna work. So I made a small, almost exact template around this. And I got it to lay down pretty nicely. So I think we make the kit, we actually start here and we pull off of this. So this is our starting point. We can pull that way, that lays down nicely, just by distributing tension throughout the fingers and pulling that way. And then here, we can pull that way to get rid of this initial tension. And then we can pull this way to get this to naturally wrap around here. This bottom piece might be hard, but I think we can make that work too. It's too big of a piece to try to do one piece. We don't have enough film. We're gonna do this whole piece and seam it on this hard body line. And as long as our seam is precise and on point, you won't even see that. Like, nobody would have noticed it had I not set it on camera. And it'll be a perfect place to hide that seam. So we decided to split the car in half because it has these nice stripes down the middle. We can hide a seam line right there. So we decided to do a left side and a right side. And we decided, hey, let's cut this piece off right at the big ridge where the rear quarter is. Another massive piece. I think we used a piece that was 120 inches by 60 inches. We did a couple test pieces. We were trying to figure out how we were gonna maneuver around the air inlets that are on that quarter. That was gonna be our biggest problem. We knew once we got past that, everything else was easy. Gonna follow it right in there. Perfect.
Oh, but you're gonna put the seam in the middle?
Yeah. That was crazy. There were so many different moving pieces that happened that like you don't even notice. Albie was just like, I'm gonna go help them, and then boom, he shot to this area, so we were able to tackle that, this, that, just in sequence. So we were just doing this around each other, and that's why all this was possible. Kit fucking worked perfectly, like it's spot on. It's already like perfectly cut. I may have to do some small trimming, but it's done. And he was just crazy. The best part, super clean. Like there's no dirt anywhere. The whole top's done, that's clean, perfectly executed. Where do we cut this line? On top, in the middle, on the bottom. Right here, there's a shadow. This way, that's where I want to cut. I want to disguise that cut on this side. So the cut isn't on top. In the middle, it has to be on this side. Your eye will naturally lose it, then it'll look really nice. That was easy. That was too easy. Too good at this.
other side.
I mean, the front bumper alone took about 8 hours. LB spent the majority of the end of one day and then the beginning of the next day. And even towards the end of the day, it was, hey, let's check it. Let's make sure everything's holding up. And that guy surprises me. Like, he made that thing look perfect. It is a lot of seam pieces in the front bumper. Like, if I didn't tell you where the seams were, you would have to go look for them. We placed them in very, very strategic places where, A, they're not going to catch dirt. B, it looks really nice. And C, it's going to last for a very long time.
We are in the day 3. I'm finishing the bumper today. Just got to do some bottom pieces and put the grill back on and ready to go with the rest of the car. This looks nice. On these older cars, usually if I take any parts off, I like to put it back on right away because I don't forget which screw is going where. Because it's rebuilt, not all the screws are the same. I'm trying to see if I can take this grill out so I can reach even farther to wrap it, and also I will not have any dirt coming back. But it's too many screws, and this is all rebuilded parts, so I'm just leaving it and I'll clean it good, the edges here, and then start wrapping it with the grill on. I'm thinking how to do this piece, the middle part. I want to do this all one piece all the way to the bottom, but those are going to be on the way, so I have to find it out the other way how to do it better. I don't like having too many seams on the bumper, so that's why I'm doing this one piece here, and I'm connecting with the stripes. And I'm gonna have seam right here, so the other piece right here is gonna be the bumper together, all one piece. So connecting this to the bottom, and then the other piece here is gonna be separate.
Rear bumper, pain in my ass. Like, I was struggling, I was hating life, and I was fighting it. It was just not a fun piece because in the rear, there's not much you can take off the car minus the chrome piece. Like, the taillights weren't coming out, the gas cap wasn't coming off. Very unsure of how I was gonna make all that happen, but it is what it is. I had to break it off into 4 different pieces. But once I got one side down, got the next side down, got some traction going, got my confidence going, it all started to flow really nicely. I took it off to be able to access this a lot easier. It did make it a lot easier, but still gonna be a pain in the ass. Tough ass rear bumper, because it's custom. That's the only reason it's tough. It's just really hard. It's really hard to make it look beautiful, because you're taking a flat object and trying to get it to go around curves and edges and turns and curves, and film doesn't want to do that, but we're making it do that.
Prep is the key. That's what they said, and that's what I'm saying too.
All right, that took me 3 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours. It's a lot of hours.
Just gotta do the middle part and it's done.
So here's what's going on. So the way this taillight is sealed, it has like something black behind it. But when I went to install this piece, now down here, all that little black stuff is falling down, and it made the PPF really dirty in this area. And what sucks is it's gunky, and it's like, kind of like, it's this stuff, whatever the heck this is. It's really hard to get off the PPF. So I got a piece here, right here, bam. So I got to try to get all this off, but as soon as I go to take it off, it smears onto the actual PPF. I'm probably gonna spend like 5 minutes trying to clean this up really nicely. I'm gonna go get my super secret liquid that I use to help me remove that. It's literally Plexus. A plastic cleaner, it's a protectant, and it's a polish. Put a little bit on your finger. Go in there, start to rub some of this off. Look at that, it's coming off and it's on my finger. Now I just flush it. Flush it with some alcohol. Give it a little rub down. Inspect it once more. And if you look now, there's nothing there. That's how you save some PPF right there. So it is Friday, midday Friday, and we've gotten a lot done, but I feel like we haven't done shit, which is hilarious. So, hood's done, both fenders are done. Albie spent the majority of today and yesterday at the end of the day working on this front end. And it looks beautiful, but it took a very long time. Because it's crazy. It's a couple pieces of film. Like, he seamed it up really nicely where you can't even tell. So this is one piece. This whole inside piece is another piece, and then he broke off the front bumper into its own piece as well. This inside right here is its own piece. So it's a bunch of pieces that are pushed up together. But man, his workmanship is spot on, super nice. And at least doing it like this, sectioning it off into pieces, you maximize how thick the film actually is. So you keep the 8 mils of thickness, and you make it aesthetically pleasing, and then you put the seams in the right position so that your eye naturally loses those seams and you don't even see them. This is the best way to do this front bumper. If we walk this way, the roof and the quarters are done. The bottom of the quarters are done, which is great. The other side is done. This trunk piece is done. And now we're working on the small, intricate stuff, like this piece right here. I think Andrew did this one yesterday. Yeah, this one's done. So we gotta do this one on the other side. We gotta do that small vent right there. I'm working on the rear end right now. The rear bumper was getting in my way, so I took that out of the way, and I'm working on covering all this in PPF, and it's... What this looks like is how I'm installing. It's fucking hard. It's not fun. This is gonna be impossible to do, but it's only gonna be possible with optical film. Here's what happened. So this is the second time I do this piece, and it's all bulk. I spent like 45 minutes on the first one. It ripped the wrong way, and now it ripped again the wrong way. And there's too much tension in this valley, and I don't have, there's too much going on here, and I can't get the film to lay. So now I'm thinking, do I spend another 3 hours trying to figure this out? Or do I just not cover it? Or do I break it off into smaller pieces like this? And I just have to deal with this. And I'm annoyed and frustrated, and there's a lot of work. It'd be easy if this came out. This and this and this came out. We're good. It's just all the shit's in the way. To make it easier, now I'm only gonna focus on half. So this white part will be its own piece. This white part will be its own piece, and the middle blue stripe will be its own piece. And it'll make my life easier. It's still gonna be really hard, but it'll be slightly easier. The only thing that's making me happy right now is that I'm pushing optical to its limits on stretchability, the workability, and it is freaking holding up, and that makes me happy. Doing everything that I wanted to do. That goes like that, bam. I'm gonna go into ultra instinct mode. Do that like that, and this is extracted this way, Okay, I know I can lay this, that's easy. I need to lay the bottom now.
Doing great. I just finished this side of the bumper, and I'm gonna continue on the other side, and then just gonna post heat all the edges, and finally it's gonna be done with the front bumper after 2 days.
Got it. I'm happy with this one. This is what I should have done on the first one, but I didn't. It just took way too long. It's been like 2 hours. I only did this. You know what I was hoping for right there? I was hoping this would have ripped into the film and I would have had to start over. I would have been fucking screaming, dude. So this piece is done, and it turned out really nice. That's all I can say about it, other than I'm still pissed. I'm just annoyed, and my back hurts, bro, from being like right here all day like this.
You actually do it?
Yeah, of course.
No way.
Yeah,
Took it all off.
feel it.
There's nothing there, bro.
That's the whole point. You can't even tell it's there.
Is there actually PPF?
Yeah.
No way. Oh, there you
Feel
go.
it?
I feel it right there.
Yeah.
Damn, brother.
Mm-hmm. Don't ever doubt me again. All right, we're done for today, because fuck all that. We're damn near done, all right? We have to just put back together a few pieces. Andy's gonna go ahead and do a final walk around, take a look at all the film, make sure everything's holding just where it needs to be, but pretty much freaking done. And it looks really good. My favorite part of the film so far has been definitely the gloss and how easily it went down on some of these like harder, rounder, flat, square edges, which was pretty crazy. But overall, it went down really, really nice. Super easy to install. How much time do you think we spent on this? A lot, right? Oh, a week? Let's do some math. What did I say in the beginning, Chris? I said it's gonna be like 80 something hours?
85 hours.
There's 3 of us. Let's say 21 times 7. You didn't want to look. My calculations are right. We're looking at about 147 hours. That's a lot. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of yelling, a lot of cutting, because the whole car is custom. The next one, it'll be 60 hours, because now we know how to do it. The final step for this project was, let's get this car ceramic coated. The team brought the car into the clean room where we applied G-Technic Halo. So that was pretty much the whole process for installing the PPF. Super hard, super fun, and let's do it again. Cool, so let's finish off this video. We are completely done with the PPF on the GT500. It got beautiful optical defense. The car looks completely amazing. Changed the whole look of it. Now it's shinier, sexier, what a GT500 should look like. Stay tuned for our next video. Who knows what we're gonna do? Maybe Elon's spaceship. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, leave that comment down below. See you guys next time.